So I'm in this very fun situation that currently there's a snow, or there has been a snowstorm in Denmark. So we have a lot of snow, and I was meant to go to work, and I work in a hospital, so I can't really work from home. And yeah, two cars got stuck where I parked, so I can't get my car out. So that means I'm off today. So I thought, why not make a fellowship special? A little good fun tour of the server. And with tour of the server, I barely mean that, fellowship has been going for almost 5 years. We've coming close to 5 years. And there's a lot of stuff to show. There's a lot of stuff to do. So I'm gonna show off some of the stuff and tell some funny stories potentially. Not making this episode too long. I just thought, why not be a little bit creative and show off the Fellowship SMP. So for my story on the Fellowship, I started pretty much when the server was new. And I was fairly new to Minecraft back then. I had played some, but then I had a longer break, and it was never really about building. It was more like factions, so I didn't have that much of a normal SMP vibe experience. But I built a house, wasn't too fond of it, but it was okay, the first ever. But then I really loved the movie Treasure Planet, and in Treasure Planet there's this massive ship, RLS Legacy, and I thought, why not try to replicate that in Minecraft? I tinkered around, found some ship models, and played around with the concept, and that led onto what I can probably call RLS Fellow. Because I should probably name my boat that. I never really named it officially, and I have a lot of clutter, like the different mobs here and stuff like that. I have some projects with like putting my friends or some of you viewers on here on the boat. I probably should return to that. But I kind of made it my home because then, this server's been around for a while. So story of Fellowship is that, we started when, the lowest point in the world was 0. And then Caves and Cliffs came around, and terrain changed, and I was able then to find this area where I thought my boat will fit in perfectly. I moved, and I'm actually happy I've been here ever since, because that then laid foundation for my next adventure, which will be what you probably have seen, but let's just show it anyways. So over here I found a mountain and I flattened it, and I thought I'm gonna build a pyramid, but not any kind of pyramid, because it's gonna be an ancient dark temple. Because with the addition of mangrove and deep slate and the deep dark and stuff like that, I thought the deep dark vibe was a new kind of thing, not as much classical as the quartz temples you normally would see. So I like this kind of style. I built a little bit with a Greek theme, some murals of that, made a whole underground area, but you probably see most of that in my other videos. Otherwise, go and check them out or see future videos. There'll be more in that. Still building, still progressing. Has been here for what, almost 3 years in this area. But yeah, I've built bridges, some parrots, and statues. What else do we have? There's some pranks still around. I have an ambition one day, and this is another. I love storytelling, but I'm not always that good at it. But maybe I would ask you to create stories, and then I would build houses around stories in a town. That's a dream and a dream project. I think I'll have to tackle another day potentially, but that's definitely something there's in the brainstorming book, so could come around one day, but of course limited time sometimes, and then you prioritize your projects differently. The next part of my story comes to an industrial area. So you don't always want a lot of machines, a lot of redstone things and stuff going around at your base to create lag, or it's kind of nice to have a purposely full industrial area where you can have all your farms or projects and stuff like that, so it doesn't intervene too much with the build. But sometimes I still have farms built in my base. But we created this hole here, or Nightlore, as I made this with, had this hole we were able to put here instead, and then create a creeper farm, and then create a sugarcane farm underneath. And then since on we added a project center and more farms and villagers, and just been expanding it. As you can see, it's not really because we had done a lot with the terrain. There's not paths to find around, but it's our own little mess, and it's our own little, there's stuff to do. I have, if you're an OG or longer back person on this channel, you can probably remember the silos we made where all the items from all the different farms flows in, most of the farms, into a hopper system that then collects it up. So we have a central sorting system of the items we collect, like melon, pumpkins, string, sugarcane, gunpowder goes over here too. And yeah, it's part of the journey sometimes to also learn and tinker around with redstone. And this has been a really good place. And you know, industrial area, if you ever play on the SMP, don't only do it on your own, consider doing it with someone else. It's actually really fun because you can still do your own projects, but you can also delegate and you can do collabs with each other and help each other. So very much recommend shared industrial areas because it makes it way more interactive and it's not a solo journey, especially when you're on SMP, in my opinion. But of course you're entitled to your own opinion. I just thought, you know, I really enjoyed doing this and still doing it with Night because it's a fun journey to do stuff together and have your own little projects in the mix. But you know, have a shared area with someone is always a fun thing to do. I will say, if you're this far in the video, thank you, and hey, consider doing something else. If you're building something in Minecraft, do that while you're listening because it is just much a show and tell, so you can have it in the background running and hopefully still enjoy it. Let me take you to spawn because this is where the adventure actually started. Right here. This was the start of this server. This is where I started myself, and now I live in the southeast, but I actually traveled northeast and started out. And all of this used to be pretty heavy forest, and I actually had my first death just like over like in this area here. I jumped up in a tree around here and then I got shot. That was like my first experience, like my first journey. Man, that's almost 5 years ago. Time flies. Wow. Okay. But yeah, we still have the Christmas tree, but we have a town hall, and some of these things I don't show off a lot in my videos because of course it's more like behind the scenes, more stream stuff potentially. But we have a town hall here with a panda being our little receptionist, James, and we have some polls here for server change suggestions and changes if we want to do plugins, and we sometimes suggest that. And then we have our little town square, and we're able to design some of this, which is pretty cool because I'm not normally that good with greenery, and that's also been a journey with, you know, being on an SMP for 5 years. I have definitely been able to get a little bit out my comfort zone, try some new projects, fail sometimes, but also succeed sometimes and be very satisfied with my projects. Like I like this little henge area. We'll see how long it stays. We tend to try to renew the area from time to time, but it's really good fun. And as you can see, there's a lot of different houses around, and this is a really cool thing too. I haven't contributed too much to it, but we like have a cafe, we have a candy shop, we have like a bar, we have a thing called a shop. Oh, I never seen this actually. That's such a cool way of using armor stand to make like a whatever this is called in. Yeah, I can't remember the word for that in English. Bear with me. You can always leave that in the comments. But yeah, a little shop bar, and then we have like a news place. We used to have a texture pack with different costumes or armor smith, because then we can come here as a community to get templates if you want to copy them, which is nice. Or snail mail, where we have all our mailboxes, so we can like leave mails with each other, you know. If we don't go and see each other, then we can send messages in that way. You probably see my faces here as well, little mini me's watching the theater, which is really nice as well. And here we have our community storage with all the stuff we share for community builds and stuff like that. People can come and donate as well, so we have like a central system for that. We have some mini games and battle arena, mini game arcade areas, like kind of building and getting slowly there. I have some ideas I actually need to run with on this as well. Again, so many ideas, so little time, but it's so cool as well because, you know, we have a casino, like it's doing all these kind of things together, but still also wanting to contribute to the community is a fun journey, especially with SMPs, because when you had a SMP for this long, you definitely I've had a lot of chances to learn and also like get inspiration from others. That's what I really enjoy, like walking around now and showing this world to and seeing like, you know, other builds, like one new teleportation station someone is building as well, and like getting ideas and inspiration on how to make fun and cool stuff. It's just a cool, nice way. Of course, I can log on to Pinterest, I can log on to YouTube and get others inspiration, but you know, down the line, like, you know, like also being able to see what your friends or the community builds is really nice. It's that role game. I built this chicken. That was wait, what is Oxid? Interesting, I didn't know that. But yeah, it was a statue for first mayor, which was a chicken. Again, lore is also a thing of servers or SMPs like this. Another thing you don't see too often, because why would I show this in videos, is the transportation between places. We have different tunnels. We have some east tunnels, we have a north tunnel, or Horth, like some people have been changing, and it's not west, it's quest, and south tunnel. So we have different tunnels made for the bases, and then above, let me just go up here. We have our nether hub above, and you know, really cool. I love the color and how the whole thing, and just looking at this, you know, you get inspired to do like projects like this. And like for the longest time, and I'm gonna share this too, the longest time I've been planning on trying to break bedrock, and I wanted to make a short series about it and have a cool tune, but I'm not that good with making musical tunes and stuff like that. Like make an outline here, so we have like layers of glass with light to give a cool effect, and make a platform and show my portal to my temple and to my boat. And then, like, you know, this new update comes around, or new, I don't know if you can call it a glitch or something, but somebody found another way to break bedrock than this used to be TNT, than the normal method. So now the whole bedrock breaking series idea is maybe changing a little bit, but I'm gonna get started on it, of course. Another idea, but it's like, it's cool to see how things develop as well. And because I'm a little bit slow sometimes, you know, new things can appear. What? But yeah, that another project, and you know, the nether roof is what a nether roof is on the server sometimes, but underneath we have tunnels and systems going between two. And sometimes some of them are convenient, and sometimes the roof is very convenient. Another awesome thing about SMPs and communities is that creating like a shopping district is a really fun idea, because it kind of creates the space that, you know, I don't have to build every single type of farm, but it also creates an economy so you can trade or buy from others. So, you know, instead of like having 20 different thousand farms of every item, I can just go here and buy. And you probably know this concept of shopping district from Hermitcraft and stuff like that, where they create these where people can get shop and sell books, sell different building blocks. And you know, so if I ever have to go, and right now we don't have a concrete shop, but if I need a lot of concrete, instead of having to go and farm it for myself, I just go and buy it. Or like, you know, greenhouse, we have a lol flower, so we can go and get dyes easily. And we have like shared community area where people can say, oh well, I think like these items are desired, I would like those, to be able to buy them. And people can get inspiration if they want to build a shop. And then here's their shop concepts as well. And you know, there's been a little bit of fluctuation of players on the server, and then you experience like, you know, some shops owners comes and goes, and then you take over, or other people, or you know, a shop used to be and then it's taken down, and then somebody's just having an wait, what, open shop. Okay, it's not open, it's just the back of the shop. But this is a fun area too. I really enjoy as well exploring and finding and seeing people do new things. Like, this is just new. That's such a cool tree. But like, there's like this wither shop as well, which is an interactive shop where you go down and you place the things in, and then it kills the wither in front of you with a machine. And you know, there's like all these small interactive bits, and some of them you just go in and you just pay for it, but like, it's just so fun to see again what so many different minds can come up with of like, you know, builds of statues, or like, you know, a little polar bear symbolizing what they're selling, creating ambience, creating like a feel at the same time as being a practical part of the server where you sell items. It's a cool concept again. And you know, like if I ever had to do this again, a thing I enjoy about SMPs is seeing what other people can come up with. Like, you know, I built a glass bowl. Potentially now, if I should have done it, I would change the glass shop. I could still do that, you know, but like, you know, it's like back in the day I built an archaeology shop and made a dino head, which is still something I really enjoy and I'm trying to keep alive in. Some stuff gets more rare over time and some stuff is less rare these days, but it's just, that's the fun thing of a continuous SMP too, with different, you know, updates. New items appear, new concepts appear, and new desired items appear, because then all of a sudden this block gets more of a purpose with updates. And that's another fun development of Minecraft, you know. Maybe if you go, I'll say 2 years back, what was the most desired block back then, and now if you look what is the most desired block now. Like for me, for example, I remember prismarine being way more part of my block palette, but now, like, you know, I tend to turn to copper sometimes because, you know, it's just different options with gradients, and that's a fun shift for me. Of course, if I wanted to build in prismarine and that scheme or block palette, I would of course use it, but you know, over time ideas might change, or new blocks come in and change how you feel about the game, or see the game, or see your possibilities of creating new things. And that's just another good aspect of a shopping district being a good part of that. So I know this episode is a lot, or this video is a lot of talking and potentially yapping from my side, but like, you know, showing off these things, like, you know, I could tell a whole story about this tunnel for itself and a whole story about my own tunnel to my nether portal. There's so many nooks and corners on a server like this where you have experiences or stories to tell, which is really awesome. But of course it takes a long to, you know, go through or talk about. So I just wanted to do it a little bit brief with what, 15-20 minutes, hopefully not more, talking about the server. There's so much more to explore, and if you would like to see that, please, like, yeah, give the video a like and consider subscribing. Oh shoot, there's boats. Then I could potentially cover more, do this where I just sit down, walk through stuff and just record as I go, and show off some of the funny stuff that there has been on here, and you know, some of my journey with the Fellowship SMP. Like, for example, I don't even know, I didn't show that. Just this dragon I built as well, you know, a cool model I found, and I redid the design and some of the shapes for it. But it's just, you know, so much history, so much memories as well. And you know, so I wanted to try to cover this as an episode, because sometimes it's fun to just stop up and then reflect on the journey in a way. And especially now with doing Mindful Minecraft Mondays, as you probably have seen on shorts, you know, that's one of the things I talked about recently, and it actually made me jump into this video now that I'm off work because of the snow, and just take a chance, an opportunity to you know, look at things. And you know, the lake pond, another fun little bit from an episode. And you know, a lot more terraining to do, a lot more I want to do with this server, with my journey, a lot of few changes or additions I want to make. But of course, another important thing is when you play on these things, this server is kind of a forever world, so there's no time scrabble, I guess you could say. Like, for example, with look at the Hermitcraft, where, you know, there's seasons and then people all of a sudden gets busy. I think if I got told that some things were ending, I would probably try to get busy and finishing it up, but you know, that's not needed, and it's okay, because then you don't get burnout potentially as easy if you take your time with your project sometimes and not just burn through it. 2 weeks of Minecraft phases are cool, but it's also cool to be able to, you know, have a world you can keep going and revisiting and progressing. I still go mining sometimes. Essentially, I could do that more because those things is a fun part of the game as well. So many thoughts, so many things. I hope I haven't thrown you too much around while watching this video, but thank you if you took your time just to sit down, listen to this video and see some of the fun memories. Of course, there's a lot of other people's bases and stories to be told. I didn't really think I should go through that today, but if you enjoy this, like it, I might do more of that, telling stories or going looking at other people's bases, and hopefully you can find some inspiration in a new project you want to do in Minecraft, or if you're just considering getting inspiration for your current world, what could you do? Any concepts you could take with you? For example, I saw one of my friends, now I'm jumping back to the pond lake, there's something with the water where they added in terracotta into the water to give the depth of the water a different thing, and I did that, and this pond is really cool. If it was just grass or dirt that was underneath, it wouldn't look the same. And it's those small details that can make a fun story or a fun memory for you in your world. So I hope you found some here, and I hope you would consider joining back for my continuous journey on this server and all my other projects. So if you would like to subscribe, it would be much appreciated. Otherwise, take care, stay safe. If you have a lot of weather, snowstorms, or if whatever, just always stay safe and take good care of yourself. And then I'll see you for another episode or another video on my channel. Thank you for watching, and please do take care. Goodbye.